What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. And today we're going to be breaking down what wide receivers should not do in one-on-one. So we're going to be talking about 3 specific examples of what you need to do in one-on-ones and what you should not be doing in one-on-ones to get you some more separation. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to improve your skills this offseason, you want to take your skills to that next level, we're traveling out to 5 different states across the U.S. for 2-day-long quarterback and wide receiver training camp. So we're going to be coming out to Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. So each one of these camps, fellas, is 2 days long, 4 hours each day, and we're limiting spots to only 10 to 12 guys per position group, per age group. So you're going to be operating in a small group-like setting, getting a ton of reps for 2 whole days. So check out that very first link in the description if you want to come out to one of our camps. Great opportunity if you guys would like to travel out or local to those areas. We would absolutely love to have some of our YouTube community out to those camps. Let's get started with this video. So first things first here, on one-on-ones, you cannot force your releases. Okay, so what do I mean by that? You have to press releases. How you choose a release, what you do off the line is all solely predicated on this guy right here, this DB. How is he playing us? What's his leverage? How far off is he of me? Where am I lined up on the field? And what route do I have to run? All those factor into how you guys pick a release, right? So a lot of wide receivers, when they have an outside breaking route, like a 10-yard out, like a corner, like a comeback, they will force the outside release, whether it's because some coach told them that you must always take an outside release on an outside route, or because they're just too afraid to take the inside release and they don't know what to do at the top of the break. So we have to get comfortable taking an inside release on an outside breaking route. So this wide receiver is a perfect example of that. We got outside shade press. So let's play this thing full speed, then we'll break it down. So he does a great job with this split release, dips the shoulder, able to restack, and he gives his quarterback space to throw him open on a corner route, right? So let's talk about it. So why would a DB ever be playing outside shade? Number one, he's outside shade because A, he's expecting an outside route, probably because this wide receiver has his split cut down. Nobody cuts their split down to run like a post route. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, if we do, fine, because in a real game scenario, this DB is also outside leverage because he has safety help. Maybe it's like a cover 1 robber, maybe it's like a 2-man look, whatever it might be. So that's what we got to understand about this guy. He is outside shade to not give up the outside. He does not want to let you run the fade because he does not have any help to the outside. All of his help is inside, and he's expecting the outside route to make it difficult on us. So my press release that I decide to do needs to hold him there. So this wide receiver does something called a split release, right? So that split release is kind of a hesitation release where you bring your back foot up even with your front foot. So when you split, you could kind of freeze that DB to his leverage and take the inside release. Now, a lot of you guys might think, well, why wouldn't I just take the outside release then work to restack? A good DB is not going to let you do that. If, let's say, Watkins right here did this split release, but instead he took the outside release, this DB would get hands on you, put his hand right into your hip, and squeeze you all the way to the sideline. Now, what do quarterbacks like to do on outside breaking routes? They like to lead you, right? Whether it's a comeback, they like to lead you back downhill. Whether it's a corner, they like to lead you on the corner, like the corner actual route, throw you to the spot. On an out route, they need to lead you or else it's going to get picked off. So we got to give him space to be able to do that. So that's taking the inside release. So Watkins does a great job of dipping that shoulder. When you dip that shoulder, that puts you in a great position to restack and get back over the top. Because when I could get this DB in this position, that is easy work for me, okay? I could work a rocker step like he does where I sell the post route, throwing my hips and my shoulders. I could give a little peek back with my eyes, or I could just give a hard cut. But I gave him something to the inside, get him to freeze, and then I got all this space to operate and to accelerate. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I take the inside release and that DB's right there? What if he's stride for stride with me? What if I can't get him off? You want to work something called a throw-by move. So, like, let's say, for example, the break point was like the DB was a little bit closer to him and the break point was like at 10 yards, right? What you would do is you'd put your hand on either the back of his shoulder, the back of his hip, and throw him by to slip back underneath, because now you still have that space and you were able to create separation, right? And another thing, the reason why you take the inside release on this is so you don't screw up timing. If you force the outside release, DB's going to get hands, he's going to be physical, and that screws up timing with the quarterback. So the number one mistake wide receivers make in one-on-ones is they force the release. Don't be that guy. Take what the DB gives you. Trust yourself at the top of the route. The top of the route is how you get separation, with the rocker step, with the peek back, with a hard cut, not off the line. You might break a guy off the line and he might have great recovery speed. That's just how the game is played. We got to keep timing off the line line and get separation at the top of the route. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this wide receiver, not forcing it, doing exactly what we're saying to do, and take the inside release and get separation. So now, what if you have to run a corner route, but now it's inside shade coverage, right? So what do you do in this case? Because now this is the ideal situation. But there's a lot of mistakes that wide receivers will make in this case. And the number one mistake, what they do, is they do not get skinny and they do not restack when they're gifted the correct release on the route. Right? So a lot of times receivers take this for granted. They take, oh, he's inside shade, I have an outside route. Okay, fine. I could give a weak release. I could just run to the outside because I have all this space and then just go get to the landmark that the quarterback needs me to be at. But the problem with that is you don't get any separation and it screws up timing with the quarterback. I'll tell you how a quarterback thinks. If you're running a corner, he expects you to break at a certain spot. And if I don't get to that certain spot and I just go round it off and get to open grass, it screws up his timing. He's going to rush the throw where he's not ready for you. And all that does is give the DB more time to recover. So let's play this thing full speed. So this wide receiver does a great job of coming off the line, working to restack, giving that rocker step, and then making this play. So let's talk about this. He kind of gives, like a little jab release to the inside, right? Thought the release probably could have been a little bit better. But the main thing I want to focus on is here, right? So he's fighting the hands. He's dipping the shoulder. He's doing whatever he can to restack over the top of this DB. That is what we need to do always when I get a release to the side of the route. When I have a route like an out route, a corner route, a comeback, I have to work to either restack or if this DB is playing me well, get skinny and get into his cushion. One, gives me more space to run after the break point. Two, if I restack and I give him a move at the top like so, I give him this rocker step, he could bite to the inside move, and I could get some more separation. But it's got to give your quarterback space to throw you open, and we have to get some kind of separation for us to work with. Okay, so make sure, fellas, second thing that you don't want to do in one-on-ones is just run to the open grass when you get the ideal release. You have to get skinny, you have to restack, give your quarterback more space, and that's a great way to get some separation. Let's play this thing again full speed, then we're going to talk about one more mistake that wide receivers love to make when they're in this one-on-one situation. So great job with the release, restacking, dipping the shoulder, and then working that restack move right at the top. Another thing too I want to add, fellas, if you don't give a good enough release and you try to run off and just run to the outside, if this DB gets a good jam on you and he gets hands to your inside hip to your shoulder, he's going to force you all the way to the sideline and squeeze you to the sideline with no room to operate. So make sure we work to restack, get skinny, and give a little bit better of a release. Okay, so now let's talk about this move. One of the main things with all the camps that we attend or that we host, I guess we should say, with all the kids that attend, some of the one-on-one reps that we see constantly, one of the biggest mistakes that we see is guys don't attack. They're off the line, right? So one of the biggest problems is that they go lateral, right? They're going side to side. They think that I'm going to make a DB miss by moving my shoulders and my head. Now, this DB is looking directly at the eyes. This is horrible technique, right? What you want is you want to be staring at the hip. If you're a DB, you want to be watching his hips, right? Because the hips supposedly will not lie. But as a wide receiver, I want to be trying to sell with my hips, right? So like if I got a DB who's impressed and he's inside shade like this, obviously if I have an outside route like a fade, I have an out route, even a post route, I want to attack him, right? I want to threaten him to the inside because that's where he doesn't want me to go. He's inside shade because he doesn't want to give up a slant, doesn't want to let you cross his face. So if I could threaten him with that, that's going to make him move because he doesn't want to give that up. So what this wide receiver does, I'll play at full speed, is he doesn't really move. Everything operates behind the line of scrimmage, right? He does this double up and it happens behind the line. He goes 1-2, right? So when you go 1-2, but you're not gaining any ground, you're just kind of staying here, you're not threatening vertical, you're not stepping into his leverage, this guy's not going to move. Now, he got lucky because this DB doesn't have the best eye discipline in the world, so he kind of sells with his head and shoulders, and that moves the DB off the line. But a disciplined DB who watches those hips will not budge when you're going side to side. He will budge when you step into his leverage. He will budge when you step into his cushion because he's watching the hips and he sees your hips move forward. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to react. So do not be that wide receiver who just dances behind the line. get into the leverage, know how to attack the leverage, and actually threaten that DB with a face cross, you crossing his face, or if you got to take the inside release, threaten him vertically by stepping outside that frame to the outside. So number 3 mistake the guys make is they just operate behind the line, they move laterally, not threatening vertically, not stepping at almost like a 45-degree angle, if you will. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Again, receiver makes a hell of a play, but we could get way more separation by threatening his cushion and getting him off the ball. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you're local to one of the 5 states that we were traveling out to, we're coming to Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. So check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.